What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 18 of The Rise of a Nation, here with FC Edmonton in the Canadian Premier League. We are back, of course. In front of you, you can see the one, the only Nick Daly. I thought we'd just start on this guy's profile. For me, I think he's probably one of my personal favourite players that we have right now in the squad. Young, exciting player, good little leader, a player who I feel like longer term will become captain. Of course, he's already vice-captain aged 20. There's a lot to like about this guy. If you missed last episode, I will say now, make sure to go check it out. It was the Canadian Championship against Halifax. We're taking them on today, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the context of the last game. And, well, I'm now going to assume that you've watched last episode and you'll know that I was absolutely livid. Yes, we won the first leg 2-1, and then most recently lost 4-0. And we go into today's game just a few days later, knowing that we're taking on the exact same side at the same stadium with some demons to vanquish. And, well, today we're going to be rounding up the spring season. There are 2 games left. We have this game today against Halifax and then our last game against Forge. Winning this first game would guarantee us top spot, at which point we probably wouldn't cover the second game because there would be nothing on it. But, of course, if we do bottle it against Halifax, it will all go down to the final match day of the season, and that will see us taking on Forge, and York 9 are going to be taking on Halifax. No, Pacific. Oh gosh, I wish it was Halifax, because Pacific are a free win pretty much. They're down in 6th, as you can see here. But no, really, we're going into this game with the mindset of let's win the first game of the episode, then we'll be fine. That's how I want to approach things. You can see here William Cropper, who is one of our scouts. I don't know why I've rolled the R there, but he's joined Real Salt Lake, which is a bit annoying to lose one of our scouts. However, we are in the process of replacing him already with a man with a cap. We have here Hermelindo Cantiarero. We'll go with that. It sounded good, didn't it? He looks pretty good. 15 working with youngsters, great judging player ability and potential. If we just compare that to Cropper, you can see the difference. Massive, massive upgrade for us. So that is really good news. And I think that shows a little bit of the progress that we're making. The fact that, you know, we are being able to attract guys who wear hats and look like scouts to our team. Kind of keen to see how he does get on for us, the Honduran. But, well, you'll see some more of him because he is going to be our chief scout. But that's kind of all that's happened since you were last here. It's only been 3 days. You might be wondering, Jack, what are you doing with your team off the back of that last result? Surely you can't play the same team again. I've not made any changes yet, but I'm about to. The changes I'm going to make is I'm going to take out Apare and Temguia, who were absolutely atrocious for us. And in their place, I think we're going to bring in Solomon to start. But if we do that, that's going to take us over the foreign player limit of 5 starters. But I feel like Solomon and Fraser I need to bring in off the back of how bad Temguia and Apare were for us. And with Kareem Moses lacking some match sharpness. I've got to get rid of a foreign player though somewhere. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Might prove to be a controversial change. But I'm going to take off Chandel Senior and we're going to bring in David Norman, a player who I don't feel like has got enough kind of attention yet. He joined us this year. He has made 3 starts for us, of course. He joined us on a free transfer. In many ways, he's like a baby Mark Anthony Kay. You know, he's a very similar player, just not quite as good in certain areas. But he's very, very good defensively, and that's where we're going to have him play today. And well, we'll have to see how he gets on. So, it's a little bit of rotation. Do I want to start Sarkaria or Tommy Amiobi? You know what, I kind of do. I'm going to drop Chung here, which might limit our game plan options, which might seem like an odd move. We'll then bring in Amiobi on one side and Sarkaria on the other. So, I could bring in Chandel Senior if I wanted to, but I'm actually just going to give Norman the nod. So yeah, I've changed some things up. Nothing too crazily drastic, I guess, but I feel like off the back of the last game against Halifax, we need to buck up our ideas. We need a change of plan, a change of approach. Maybe not in system, but in personnel. Let's see how we get on. I feel like the game that we lost against them 4-0 last time out was a case of us just not turning up. I don't feel like it was a tactical thing that saw us get massively undone. Hence the fact I'm happy to play the same system again today. What I am going to be looking for is on an individual basis, player by player, us to just perform better than we did last time against them. We'll have to see how we get on as this game plays out. Halifax have quickly become a rival for us, a player who, not a player, but a team who I'm going to be honest, I kind of dislike playing because they always seem to just have the answer to whatever we throw at them. The good news is, after half an hour here, they have not had an answer so far. Granted, we've not really had a question to throw their way yet going forward. We've edged out possession. They have had more shots and more shots on target. So, it's a little bit of a concern, but at half-time, it's going to be 0-0. It's hardly been a classic. I'm not sure if a draw is good enough. I don't think it would be. I think we would need to get a result against Forge, or at least play that game live to ensure that York don't leapfrog us. I think it would be very, very close. I haven't even thought about the possibility of a draw, to be honest. And well, let's not even consider it. Let's continue as we are. If we need to think about it, we'll think about it going into the next game as Amiobi's clean through. What can he do? 32 years old. Would a younger Tommy there, with a bit more of a spring in his step, been able to break through and break the deadlock? Maybe. Unfortunately, doesn't have the pace that perhaps he had once upon a time as he broke through there. I was caught up with quite quickly, and unfortunately the first real chance of the game for either team goes a-begging. Amiobi and Sarkaria have been pretty poor. I'm going to go with a double change. I'm going to bring in Nick Daly. I'm going to bring in Duck. Ruiz at right mid's been poor as well, so we're going to bring in Edwini Bonsu. We're going with a triple change in the final third. I mean, considering we lost this exact fixture 3 days ago, 4-0, this has been an improvement, but I want to see us go that step further. I want to see us find a breakthrough. I'm sure Halifax are thinking the exact same thing, and while with them being the team in possession of the ball, perhaps we need to be more concerned with defending here rather than pushing for that next goal, although that's a big block there. Can we get it through to Daly? We can, and he tucks it away. On off the bench, he is our top goal scorer in the league. It's his 6th of the season. Lovely little assist for the Duck as well. And finally, for the first time in what feels like forever, we find ourselves ahead against Halifax. It's not even been that long. It's only been 4 games ago since we played them and were winning, but I don't know, off the back of that last game, all the negative memories of last season have kind of all come flowing back and left me concerned. Anyway, we've got the ball here. Could we double our lead? That would help me a little bit. Norman, Marshall. Plays it through to Lovett. Lovely ball. Can he get it in there? He can. Ducks there. The double change in the striking department looks to have struck gold. It's only Duck's 3rd goal of the season, but a nice little header for him. Found himself all open, and great to see so many different players involved. That ball by Marshall was superb to get it in behind the fullback. Lovett's ball is on a plate at the edge of the 6-yard box, and Saint Duck is always going to score that. No pressure on him. No one really marking him particularly tightly. I mean, we want 3 now. Where was this performance last time? Again, harps back to how I felt last game about how we just didn't really turn up. I mean, Duck scored again. It's 3-0. Does someone want to explain to the players this isn't the second leg to the previous match? You know, I know they beat us 4-0 previously. Winning 3-0 here doesn't really help us a great deal. Good goal though. Marshall threads through the play. Duck, nice finish on his left foot. First time into that bottom corner. He's on for the hat-trick now, bless him. I'm going to demand more from the players for the last 5 minutes. Can we get the hat-trick for Duck? I don't know if he's got a hat-trick for us yet. Nick Daly definitely has. Of course, he got one to start the season. Garcia trying to ruin the clean sheet. Connor James clings onto it. And, well, great result. I say result because even if we were to concede now, I don't think we're conceding 3 goals in the last 2 minutes of the game. And a good response here from the players. It's a real shame that it comes now where we're already out of the cup competition, but looks like it's going to be a very, very good spring split for us, and it's going to allow me to maybe rotate the team a little bit. But worth noting and remembering, of course, this year now we only have this competition that we're in. So this season, realistically, is only probably going to have maybe 3 episodes left in it. You know, we'll do maybe an episode every 6 games through the autumn season just to kind of touch base and discuss things. But it's going to be a very short season in terms of episodes, which is an interesting element of this save here in the Canadian Premier League. I think I really like how short the seasons can be. Obviously, it'd be nice to be in every single competition. but equally it never feels stale. You know, the save is always moving forward. It feels like you're always going somewhere, even if you are having the setbacks on the pitch, off the pitch. Time is flying by, and it's really exciting to see our players performing and developing. And especially with a longer term save like this one, where I really do want to build up Canada to be, you know, challenging at World Cups. It's a nice feeling. Anyway, Duck played superbly off the bench. I feel like his introduction and Daly's introduction was the difference maker. A goal and an assist for us there does secure, as you can see here, the Premier League title with a game to spare. We are unbeaten still. And actually, when it comes to the group stages or the league stage of this competition, I think we're unbeaten in almost our entire year. Of course, last season in the spring season, we lost 2, but then in the autumn split, we didn't lose a game all year. So to start the spring season this year unbeaten is great. Of course, this doesn't matter if you don't win the games that truly matter. I guess the only silver lining here that I'm trying to find is that Halifax are still in the Canadian Championship. They're also going to be in the North American League, the continental competition, and so their squad is going to be spread very thinly over the course of the next half of the season. I guess they're going to be playing in a lot of competitions. Worth noting, actually, the North American League. Of course, we lost in it last year. Alajuelense, who we lost to, actually won the whole thing for a second year in a row. So the fact that we took them pretty close, like obviously they were better than us in every way, but I think we lost 2-1 and 3-2 against them. We scored goals, we kept it close, is promising. Obviously, the real criminal offence here is that because we lost in that playoff last year, we're not even in this competition next year. So when this resets in a couple of weeks' time, we have nothing to look forward to, unfortunately. What we can really look forward to now is the playoffs at the end of the year, knowing that we've got a spot in it, and that I can really treat the second half this year as an opportunity maybe to develop younger players. You know, players like Mossavat now can give game time to. Players like Kevin Williams in goal. Again, a player who I can just give game time to, the 17-year-old. The Shades is going to be able to play plenty of football. Carlos Mora, we're going to be able to register for the autumn season, which is great news. And then when it comes to the under-21s, there are some players here with potential who, you know, we might be able to try and feed into the team. I'm looking mostly at Kazunori Kurata, the young Japanese youth international who is, not part Canadian, unfortunately, although he's not that far off becoming Canadian now, is he? But he's looking very, very good himself. Of course, still training to play out on the right midfield position for us. Don't know if we could register him for the team. That might be a bit more of a stretch, but you know, we can maybe make a go of it. And of course, there are other players who we've got out on loan who maybe we recall and say, hey, you know what? I know you're out on loan, but I want to bring you back and give you a chance in the first team. Players like Oyamada here, who's on loan at the moment at Chicago Sting. If we just look at him, he is part Canadian. Very, very good player, of course. And also Vim Verguwen, I butchered his name completely. Of course, a player who we signed in the very first season here at the club has had a few loan spells of reasonable success. He's developed quite well, to be honest, at Charleston Battery, but he is Canadian. We could recall him back and give him some game time now in the in the autumn season. It's something perhaps worth weighing up for sure. Anyway, as I said, we kind of now go into the rest of the season knowing it's an opportunity to hopefully train the side, develop players, and really hopefully shift our focus towards the playoffs at the end of the year, but also the North American League, which we're going to be striving to qualify for in a year's time. But no, everything's going pretty well for this year. Obviously, disappointing to lose in the Cup last episode, but well, we've done better than we did last year in qualifying for the spring season immediately. It's kind of half the job done. Now we just have to see out the rest of the year, continue performing well, of course, and see how our squad is looking in the next couple of episodes as we approach the end of the season rather rapidly. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. I do hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, drop a like on it. I'll see you guys again on the next one. And it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.